Why, hello there, world destroyers and world builders alike. Sean Nelson here from Pen and Blade. And in this video, I am going to just do some random world building. And it is 12:30 at night, but I told myself I would make a Pen and Blade video, one video a week, and try to stick with a nice, even pace. And I'm past my deadline, so we're gonna go ahead and just do some easy world building. I'm thinking today of just, drawing a little island and just, doing some world building. So we'll see what happens. We'll use the RRG. Let's bring the RRG up here. We're gonna bring it in phase 2. Phase 1, I'm just going to start drawing an island and talk to you guys about some ideas I had for the future of Pen and Blade, and I'd love to hear your feedbacks. So getting into the whole world building thing, and I've had some ideas around that as far as like, all right, so I'll just start going in with ink. And so what we'll do is we'll draw. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. We'll draw this island, right? And then we will randomly generate names for the island and the different regions and see what we come up with. So in the first phase, I'm just gonna put some stuff down pretty randomly as I chat, kind of off the cuff. So one little idea I've had, which I've never actually followed through on, is to create a bunch of random generation charts. So I really like to randomly generate things, as you've probably noticed if you've been following this channel. And so one of the things that I thought could be really fun is to create, maybe it'd be like a Patreon thing, but to like start creating all these random gen charts and then put them into like a book, slowly compile them into a like one resource. So to give you an idea of what I mean about that, it's like you could have like cursed weapons random gen chart, and it would have 3 columns, and one of the columns would be like the prefix, one would be the weapon type itself, and then the last column would be the suffix, right? So then the prefixes could be like frozen and like burning, those would respectively do frost and, fire and frost damage, right? And then it would be like the middle thing would be like scythe, sword, axe, stuff like that, right? And then the final ones would be like of doom, or the of the conqueror, whatever. And then even could have suggested stat blocks or attributes. So you roll this and you might get like burning hammer of the conqueror, right? And then you might have like frozen scythe of doom, right? So you could do that with all sorts of stuff. It could be with monsters. So I'm thinking, what if there were, let's say, elementals? I'm just kind of doing this all off the cuff right now. So there could be a, like fire, wind, water, and then elemental would be the middle thing. Like that lives in, and you could have different regions and guards, and then have different things it guards. So it'd be like a earth elemental that lives in the forest and guards a magic grove, or a fire elemental that lives in a abandoned tower and guards like I would say a mage's spellbook, but let's say if it was more random, and guards a princess. I don't know, who knows? But like the idea would be that you can what's it called? Like generate all sorts of random stuff, whether for world building stories that you're creating or for your game, obviously. But yeah, so I thought that could be a really cool. Let's put a town over here. Gotta keep some space for some towns. But But yeah, I thought that would be really fun. I like doing that kind of stuff. So if that's something that you think would be valuable or interesting throughout this, just let me know what you think in the comments of these ideas, if one of them sticks out and excites you guys the most. Because I love to, work, have interaction with the community. And so if you guys are really excited about an idea, I'll be much more inspired to move forward with it. Another thing I've been doing that's been pen and blade related, I'm not going to worry about making this map too pretty. We're just going to be having fun here, doing our thing. Or maybe make another castle. No, let's just have one castle. That'll be the capital. So yeah, so another idea that I've had, what is going on here? Is this river splitting off? That's weird. Let's just actually just have the river go over here. Another thing that I've been working on, so I've been getting my life coaching license. My wife is a life coach trainer, so she certifies people in different life coaching modalities. You can check it out at saycoach.com. One of the things I've been super busy with is building that site. So just check it out and let me know if you like the site design and if you have any recommendations as well for how the site could work or questions or whatever, if you have any interest in life coaching type stuff. And so one of the things that I kind of started playing around with just for fun, and I took Sophia through a couple sessions and a few other people, like Mitch, who I met here through Pen and Blade, through this fantasy themed coaching journey. So where you create an avatar character, so it's like who you would be in the fantasy world. So if you were like transported into a fantasy world, who you are now, what race and class would you be? What kind of special abilities would you have? And then we look at the different challenges that you might be facing in your life. So it could be anything from like procrastination to, like any fears or struggles you've had in your life, and envision them as enemies, traps, different encounters. And so there's this whole process that I would take you through where it's basically symbolizing them and turning your current life into a quest. And it's kind of cool because you can look at things that are more daunting to you if you look at them in the mundane, mortal realm. It's like, but if you envision them as a sort of fantasy challenge, it might inspire you to rise up and become the hero, to unleash the hero within. So I'm planning to start, offering that at some point, and you guys here on the Pen and Blade audience would be perfect people to test it out with me. And so if you're interested in that, I guess maybe send me an email at shams@penandblade.com, I think would work, but also contact@shamsnelson.com. I got all these emails. Actually, no, use contact@shamsnelson. I'm not sure if the Pen and Blade email forwards to my most current email right now. I've got to figure that out. But yeah, so that's one other thing that I've been toying around with. What is this map missing? Oh yeah, volcanoes. Volcanoes are trending these days, man. I don't know if you guys have noticed, so we're going to add one in here. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I think volcanoes are the new quicksand. And I've been doing a lot of cool characters. I really like the different characters I've been creating on Instagram and having fun with that. So I could add, like, if I do a Patreon, I think having your own character commissions at one of the levels would be like, okay, cool, I'll draw a character for you, once a month based on whatever prompt you give me. And here, I'll show you some of those characters I've been drawing really quick. Here's a lava guy. Where are these guys? I think I put them in a folder. This one's unfinished. But here you get a little idea of the style that I've been developing, and I've been having a lot of fun with that. So yeah, so that's what I've been pretty much up to lately. What have you guys been up to? What's new in your lives? And I'm just not sure exactly what direction I want to take Pen and Blade in the channel and the community. I've been chatting on our Discord again. I think the link is in, if you click the go to the channel, and one of those little icons in the top right corner of the channel page, you can check out you can join the Discord and you can be friends. We can all be friends. So, okay, I think I'm going to leave the map like that. We're going to just keep it simple. We'll make it a little bit bigger. We'll start randomly generating and getting into phase 2 of this video. So let's see, where's that RRG? Yeah, see, the RRG is what really inspired me in the first place to start. Well, that's a product of my random generation stuff. Oh, this is a really cool thing. If you go here and you can just go to app.wombo whatever.art, check it out. It's an AI generating art thing, and you just put a word in and it generates artwork through AI, and it's really quite fun. Okay, so let's get the name of this island. So we will call it place. Hello. Oh, I've never done 3 places. All right, let's try it. Place island. Generate text. So this is Corn Red King. Corn Red King Bay. Man, maybe I'm way too tired for this. We'll make this bay over here. It's not going to name of the island. I'm going to call it Corn King Bay. I think 3 things is too much. Red corn. And we'll say that Corn King Bay and this red corn grows, along the side here. I don't think I can draw a cornfield at this scale. Let's see, how would you draw a cornfield? Well, let's say that that's where the wild corn grows. All right, you just know that that's the wild corn area. And so we're going to add a town here, the town of Red Corn, where they gather this corn. And this corn it's a magical corn. It's red because it's imbued with the power of fire. Town of Red Corn. Because the Corn King is actually, so maybe this is more of an Arabian town, and we've got this efreet, those, like, what's it called? Those kind of like little genie, they're the fire genies, right? They're like, so there's an efreet who is the leader of Red Corn, and his magic has seeped into these cornfields, and if you eat the red corn, then you'll gain temporary fire magic, but at a cost. And the cost is that you slowly become a servant to the Ifrit. That's pretty cool. So it's a price to pay. It's a price to pay. It might be a good trade-off. I don't know. You'll have to let me know what you think. And then let's generate the name of the main city. So this is going to be, the capital of this place is Treestorm. Is Storm Tree? Treestorm. The Treestorm is cool. So this is Castle Treestorm. Let's put castle here. Castle Treestorm. And this is actually where is ruled by a treant. So the king of Castle Treestorm and the main ruler of this island is this great old treant. But he is contested. His power is contested by the Efreet in Redcorn, who wants to take over the island. The island's name is Ice Desert Island. Oh, wow. So how could we have an ice desert? Let's add some snow cap to these mountains. Okay. And we'll say that the mountains in the north, there's a desert of ice. So it never rains. It never snows, but it's perpetually icy up in this region over here. Okay. So this is Ice Desert Island. Let's write that up here. I'm wondering if this is all going to come together, because these are pretty random so far, but sometimes things just click it as you continue world building and just let your imagination kind of run free. So we've got Ice Desert Island. We've got our treant of Castle Treestorm, King Treestorm. And in Corn King Bay, is the efreet has taken over and lives in this town of Red Corn. And you know, Corn King Bay actually used to be an important part of the Treestorm economy because that's where they grow their corn. So the Freed came out of nowhere and took it over. And you know, Ice Desert Island used to be quite peaceful. I mean, they do have a problem with some of the amiable, intelligent giants. What a friendly place. I told you it was a friendly place, right? So it's a very friendly place. And I like how there's a volcano here at Ice Desert Island. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I'm guessing that the lava flow goes into the ocean, right? So the lava flows that way. But even if the lava flows into the ice desert, so maybe there's actually, you know what, let's have a lava river and then a lava waterfall. The lava river that cuts through the ice. And so maybe there's, you know, some trees like right along the riverbank. There's some growth and stuff because the ice will melt and the temperature is somewhat warm. So you get these trees that are quite happy just right along the riverbank. But the rest is icy. Which is an interesting, could make a very interesting location. I like that a lot. But yeah, these amiable, intelligent giants, they like Treestorm. King Treestorm has been really trying to recruit them. They live all in this region, mostly in the north, these northern giants. But Treestorm has been trying to recruit them because with their power, they could probably take down the Efreet. But the Efreet has on his side a swarm of harpies, okay? And they are quite the menace. So they will harass the treants, and they are dramatic and warm-hearted. Warm-hearted as in their hearts are filled with fire because they eat all this red corn. So these harpies flying around, shooting fireballs at these treants, and that's why the treants can't take them alone because they're susceptible, they're weak to fire magic, of course. And they can't reach the harpies who fly, right? So these harpies are the ultimate weapon against the treants. So we're wondering if these giants who are very friendly. They don't want to fight. They don't want to get involved in wars, and you know the Efreet leaves them alone. So he so they can't really, you know, they're not really bothered enough to take action on their own, and they don't really have any care for the politics of this island. Let's name some of these other little towns. Let's go for this town right here. So we've got, and if you guys aren't familiar, this is the RRG developed by Phil, and so you can go to philcom.dev/RRG to mess around with this yourself and do some world building on your own. Let me see what we got here. Keyboard, delete. So we're going to name this place the town of Devil Dwarf. Did I say that? Okay. Okay. So yeah, this is a dwarven town. Let's put it here. And these dwarves are allied with red corn. So you know what, we might actually start a color coding system. So we can keep track of who is allied with the treants and who is allied with the efreet. So the red ones, this is efreeti territory. You know, probably something like that. This whole peninsula. Okay, I'm not going to shade it in right now. Okay, I can do this though. So we can start to get an idea. And then, I mean, let's hope that, now you know what, I like it without the lines. You get the idea. Let's hope that these two cities are actually loyal to King Treestorm. Ice Death. Oh dang. That's a dark city. Or Death Ice. Death Ice is cool. So this is the name of this forest over yonder. Or not the forest, but the town of Death Ice. And the forest is called Passage Guard. Because there's a lot of lands over here, and there's other islands, but they're quite quite villainous islands. So the Passage Guard forest is where the treants keep anyone from settling along this coast. Because if they do, it'll cause trouble. And then this town has a wall. And you know what? Maybe this area is more, this coast is more inhospitable. You see it's got cliffs. So you can't really approach. This is the best area to land by sea. Except for down here too. But this area is swampy and filled with creatures. The harpies are very aggressive. Okay, so most of this island is difficult to land upon, but here is the main area in which you could safely land your bow. Actually, let's leave that there because this is low ground where the delta is. And so Passage Guard is where the main, like many of the warrior treants dwell, and if anyone tries to settle along that coast, they shall fight them back. Okay, so, and then, why is this one called Death Ice? It's a great question. Let me know in the comments below. Obviously it has something to do with ice, and it's not a happy situation. That's all I can tell you for now. We're going to move on to this final town over here, which is called Magic Orc. The town of Magic Orc. So the orcs are allied with the treants because the orcs have lived in Passage Guard Forest for many eons, and they don't want to get on the wrong side of the treants. You know, they're not in the business of fighting trees. It's not their forte. They don't have fire magic. They have ice magic, hence Death Ice, right? This is where orc warlocks and wizards go to train. And they actually team up. So in Passage Guard, if you are foolish enough to try to settle on the northeastern coast of Ice Desert Island, you would be facing two great perils. One, and these perils are teamed up. They fight as a single, unstoppable unit. This is the Death Ice orcs, ice orclocks, the orc ice mages, magi, the frozen. Oh, okay, you get it though. These guys are blasting ice powers, and they're orcs, so they can also swing an axe without much difficulty. And then you've got the treants, who are just giant trees who will just stomp on you and, you know, throw acorns, rocks, whatever they got on hand. So they're pretty set. They're pretty good to go and they're happy to fight side by side. Here, let's make this border over here. Okay, I guess I got green on a new layer. But yeah, this is the battleground right here, where ice orcs battle fire harpies, and these treants usually don't actually fight here. Just the ice orcs. They've created a front. There's a front here, a line where let's put there may not be an actual fortress. There's more like these smaller, like orc encampments along this area. And you know, there'll be regular orc warriors, but they're definitely led by these ice magi. And let's see what's going on up north. Do we need anything going on up north? There's just a nice little world building. We can have a let's see the magic orc. What what class their leader is. I wonder if it'll be a magic class, or if it will, maybe there'll be a warrior who has stood out, or something else. Let's just see which class is going to be the leader of the ice orcs. A paladin, most noble. I imagine this like Arthas type, like frozen paladin, who is has a debt to repay to the treants, because you see, Magic Orb was going to be taken by the harpies, right? But the treants provided. What did the treants able to provide Magic Orc? That they were able to build these walls. The treants built these walls around them, where they were able to set up, you know, higher. They were able to get on higher ground to shoot their ice magic at the harpies, or else they. So there might be some nice towers here. They need some towers. The treants are great. The treants in this region are excellent architects. They're able to support Magic Orc. Now this is pretty far in. It's actually like kind of like halfway in the forest, so the forest provides cover for Death Ice, so it doesn't need the the same treatment as far as defensive structures. But all these little villages have nice walls around them. And maybe they're built like into the ground, so they're actually like underground. Most of the village is underground. Like they have homes that are above ground, so they're not subterranean creatures, orcs, but like they have these like basically bomb shelters. So when the harpies come flying over to do an air raid, they'll have their lookout, and they'll set an alarm. They'll blow their horns, and they'll just all go underground. And they'll burn down these. The huts are made of like mud brick, so they're not susceptible to just lighting on fire. It's actually a really good setup for countering these fire harpies. So I'm curious how this. You know what? And then we have one. Let's have one lone tower over here. Let's have one lone tower, and we can put like an adventurer of some sort who's so powerful in his own right, and he's been able to remain neutral. So actually, the borders stop right there, because he's remained neutral. And this guy is the race class. Let's give him a personality and a quality. Let's see what happens. Another paladin. Is that right? A Dragonborn Paladin, who's an energetic and deceptive. You see, he is able to play both sides, and no one can gain an advantage. Because, now, I wonder what this paladin is defending. What role he has to play in the bigger picture here. Is he an orc paladin? They didn't actually say. Oh no, he's Dragonborn. He's Dragonborn. So he's a Dragonborn Paladin. So he is maybe loyal to an ancient dragon that used to live on this island, right? And it's an ice dragon. That's why it's magically enchanted to be so icy, even though there's a volcano and it's an island and everything like that. This ice dragon used to dwell up here. And its skull, its skeleton still remains strewn across the ice. And you see the ice dragon was defeated many eons ago. And I'm trying to think of how who defeated this ice dragon. Does this paladin? I mean, he doesn't want to team up with the efreet because he's dedicated to good. The efreet is a dark creature, right? But he's not allied with the treants because they did not support. They did not. So maybe the efreet is responsible for the destruction. Or perhaps it was the efreet's father, who many eons ago, many ages ago, destroyed this ice dragon up in the north. And then he was defeated by this guy, right? He was, okay, we can shade this whole area in. He was defeated by the paladin, by this Dragonborn Paladin who claimed vengeance. But he wasn't able, his son wanted to, get vengeance for his father's, or no, he wanted to get vengeance against the efreet, and he was able to defeat him. But he has no qualm with the son. You see, the son, he doesn't believe that there should be like generational rivalries. Like he completed what his honor told him to do. At the same time, he doesn't want the son to take over the island because he feels like that would be a moral defeat against the ice dragon who's his father. So he's this white dragon-born paladin. And so he's maybe tentatively on the side of the treants, but he knows that even with his power, they won't be able to defeat the efreet of Redcorn and the devil dwarfs, because they're a powerful group. They may not have as much like organization as they should, because if they were as organized and diligent as the magic orc and the treants, they would easily be able to, not easily, but they would probably be able to take over the island. So he's this energetic and he's deceptive. So he'll kind of like poke and prod, like guerrilla warfare. He'll go in there and take out an important leader, or like set fire to a village, or if they launch an attack, he might single-handedly run in there and cause trouble and try to take down some important figures in Redcorn. So his presence here is actually keeping the battle on two fronts. And they don't just charge him and take him down alone, because he's just a really high-level paladin, and he's able to heal himself, and he's very cunning, and he knows the area. Maybe there's little forests around here, maybe like paths and tunnels, or I don't know what, but he's able to stay alive. And I think I'm just going to leave it at that, because I know I want this to come together in some profound way, but I think like that would have to take some off-camera pondering to come up with. So for now, I'm going to leave it here, and if you have any world building ideas for this region, then let me know in the comments. Until next time, peace, God bless, and stay fantastic, everyone.